basketball team. I thought the game was in the balance. When it was about 50, well, excuse me. The game was in the balance when Garrett Temple was on the floor with Chris Bass, Storm Warren, Quentin, and Alex, and showed, and again, I think I'm getting spoiled. He showed the capable and the leadership that you expect, but he made plays offensive that we needed to have, and that was a huge time, because Bo was gassed, he was frustrated, Taz was in foul trouble, and Marcus, who showed great courage. I'm usually not one who's very sympathetic to injuries, but he's got a serious problem with his toe. But that was a huge turn there right there, and we beat a good team. So I'm happy for them because they worked so hard. And the thing I like about games like this is there wasn't not one time when we came in out of a timeout that they weren't engaged, they weren't listening, and they weren't ready to execute. We came out of timeouts down the stretch with some calls for certain guys. Marcus comes off, executes. Q sets a screen. Garrett comes off, executes. So that's big. We're getting better. We really are. We're getting better, and I'm just happy for them because they're happy. Well, you expect it because he's been there, done that, and he's a leader. But it's interesting because this leadership stuff sometimes, kids give that lip service and it's phony. His whole thing, his whole persona is real. And I've been around this a long, long time, and I don't care what happens the rest of the way. This kid is special, and in terms of his leadership. I mean, Harmon. The last time the Washington State team beat us, he beat us. He didn't get a shot off. And then we took Garrett off of him and put it on Thompson. Same thing. So those are the little things that don't show up in the box score and the reason you win. And Storm Warren had a huge play. I mean, offensive rebound, knocks it off Baines. Then he spelled Taz and didn't break us down defensively. I thought Chris Bass was huge in a game like this against a team that's polished, that's an NCAA tournament team, that's battle tested. So, no question. Well, the crowd was great, but we had a series of timeouts there, and this is coming out of when Garrett made some plays and was freshman. We put the regulars back in, and I just told him, I says, fellas, let's enjoy this moment now. Let's enjoy playing. This is what you play for. This is stuff that you got to play for. And just relax. If you got a shot, take a shot. Play within your rules defensively. Don't gamble. Those kind of things. So, I'm not one of these guys that when the game's in the balance when you're playing somebody good, because they're good, that you can sit there. You got to give these guys something to help them with, and you got to encourage them. You got to stay positive. That thing's hard. That's bad scheduling. I don't want to go back to Pullman. Jeez. I got rid of that league. I don't want nothing to do with that league anymore. But go ahead. Well, I had concerns with Rochesky for all the right reasons. I knew he was going to extend Bo, but Chris Bass he's so enthusiastic, and sometimes he gets so emotional that he doesn't play within himself defensively. And I just told him you have to guard him to the 23-point line. Don't get overextended, and keep him in front of you. And we started making plays, and Chris wants to go pick him up full court. I'm like, no. But that's easier for me to say from the bench. But when you got a guy like Garrett out there who's been there, and he says, okay, man, Garrett, he was talking to CB, slow down now. Remember your rules. Remember what you're doing. So that's huge. And but again, that's what you want from your leader. That's what you expect from your leader, and that's what we're getting from our leader. I'll take Garrett Temple on anybody. I think it's a good matchup. Although Thompson's a good player, he's going to be special. He's a very good player. Well, he just kept a poise and play. I mean, hey, that's it. Just got to play harder. Just got to play through. Well, again, against teams like this, in a game like this, where it's a possession game, I mean, the guys that come in, they have to understand that the most important thing they can do may not be a basket or a rebound. It could be a defensive block or a defensive charge. And Q did all the little things. She forced Baines off a sweet spot. You know, when he gets that thing point blank, trust me, I've seen it. I don't care who's behind him, he's gonna score. And Quentin forced him off the block a little bit. And once Chris, he could duck really deep. And that had nothing to do with Chris's lack of strength, so to speak. It has to do with positioning and it has to do with their execution. Because we had 2 7-footers last year, and he was ducking them deep. So I thought Quentin's effort and his execution of the game plan to force Baines off the post, you know, 2 feet further was huge. And then of course he got weak side. Not weak side. He hedged and rotated back and was in the proper defensive position to make a steal, which was good. Well, again, I mean, these are very, very good kids. There hasn't been one thing that I hate to use the word that we haven't asked them to do that haven't done. And there's no secret to this. If you defend your rebound, you take care of the ball, since we're talking about basketball, you're going to have your chance to win your share of games. And so I hate to say, you know, the question keeps coming back to me. There's way too much attention paid to what I've asked them to do as opposed to what they're doing. They're the ones that are going out and executing. They're the ones that are believing. And they're the ones that show great courage and not even competed at a high level when it was in the balance. I mean, when you're down 8 or 9 points to this team, it's like being down 15 or 20. And this is a basketball team coming into this game that lost to Baylor when they were number 10 in the country, lost to Gonzaga when they were number 1, and lost to a Pitt team that's probably as tough and as physically, mentally, and physically as any team in the country. So let's make no mistake about it. We had to show great courage. We had to play well at times to win this, and we did. I don't referee, I coach. All I know is come out of timeout, we want to run 2 strong counter. And I told Marcus, you know, you may have a deep 3 if he tags you. I mean, if he goes one man room, and if he tags you, you're going to have to curl it. So it was a deep 3, and he knocked it down. They executed. Taz set the screen for him. Ball went down. Well, I mean, it's, you know, I don't want to get no action just because different team, different personnel. I do know this. This basketball team, I'm fortunate to be around right now. We're getting better, and we've got the capabilities to play fast. We got the capabilities to play slow. I like what's going on with our balance. We just got to get some guys healthy and continue to improve. Well, I don't know nothing about all that. All this win just says is that we got to go lift, and we'll have tomorrow off, and we'll come back out 3 o'clock, and we got to go to work. I don't know nothing about the rest of the conference. You guys, what do you want from me? Don't be walking me down. I'm not sending no messages. All we're going to concerned about is ourselves and playing. Concerned about ourselves and playing the game the right way. I'm not worried about sending no messages. I'm just trying to get better. Well, it's real satisfying, and I said this earlier, and I said this to them. I'm so happy for them, you know, because this is a team. You know, I heard a little bit of what Marcus said, but you know, again, for Chris Bass to stay engaged and continue to come out and work, and for Storm to stay engaged and continue to come out and work. Delwan got in there for a minute. You know, Alex has been around, Q's been around, because their roles are huge. So for me, that's what this is about. And no, I'm just happy for them. In my own way, I'm happy for them. No. Can I go now?
Well, one more question.
One more question. No.
39 points in the second half against a team that's given up 48 a game. What's that do for your offense? Maybe confidence?
Well, I don't think this group is lacking confidence offensively. You know, Marcus thinks he can get a shot off on anybody. So I don't. It's just one game, and it's against a team that we have a lot of respect for. I know I have a lot of respect for Tony, and it was on national TV. And the good thing about it, we play within ourselves, and we play like we've been practicing. But it's one game, and now we have to move on to Louisiana Lafayette, who's pretty long enough and pretty athletic enough, and a a lot better than the Mini State. So that's all it says. One game.